Hi everyone, and welcome to the Timeless History channel with me, Deric, aka Sal, the Omega Enthusiast. This channel mainly focuses on vintage Omega watches. However, I occasionally review and share other brands, some of which may fascinate you or make you consider adding them to your watch hunting bucket list. This is a watch review, episode 7, in which I will share 8 more interesting vintage watches. Without further ado, let's begin this episode. Introducing this first piece, a vintage Heuer Chronograph from 1936. I still find this to be the nicest Heuer ever made. Even though I paid a hefty amount for this piece years ago, the case was dirty, the movement was rusty, and the mainspring was broken. But it was worth every penny to get this watch working again. After the mainspring arrived, I spent a good full day restoring it. Due to its smaller size, I found this vintage metal bracelet that complements and makes the watch appear prominent on my wrist. The solid steel case measures 32.2 millimeters, excluding the crown, by 40 millimeters from lug to lug. I purchased this timepiece mainly because I have a soft spot for vintage watches with original Breguet dials. The black tone of the dial and the steel case are a perfect combination and really make this timepiece pop. Before I found this timepiece, I always tried to look for a nice early vintage chronograph watch with a step bezel and carry one of these curling stone crowns. Inside the watch is a manual wind chronograph movement under Landeron caliber 13. I've always recommended the Movado brand when someone is looking for a nice vintage watch with a triple date feature. It offers many case design and various dial options. While modern Movado is not highly desirable, vintage Movado, on the other hand, is admiringly collectible and respected in the vintage watch hobby. Even though I am quite satisfied with owning this triple calendar, I do hope to own one with the additional moon phase feature one day. This Movado watch is from the 1950s, and while most triple date watches from this era are not moisture resistant, this Movado is. This gives me peace of mind when wearing it throughout the day. The crown, the 2-pin pushers, and the case all carry gasket. Not to mention, there is a dust cover inside the back to prevent dust from entering the movement. This is probably why this timepiece remains immaculate after all these years. The steel case measures 32.6 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 40.3 millimeters from lug to lug. And inside the case is a manual wind movement under Movado caliber 470. Ever since I started collecting vintage watches, I've always wanted to own the original Jaeger Reverso. It was a must-have timepiece, as I love the brand a lot and the Reverso is my favorite JLC model. It was originally made for the Sport Apollo when they were first introduced in 1931. When flipped to one side of the case, it allows you to check the time, and reverse over will have the back acting as a shield. The Reverso allows a polo player to enjoy his game without taking the watch off his wrists. While a vintage Reverso was a tour watch, a modern Reverso leans more toward art and technical innovation. One piece of advice: when you or your watchmaker work on a complicated or expensive vintage watch, replace the mainspring during the process. It's worth the investment, believe me. This JLC Reverso dates back to 1936 and is powered by a manual wind movement under JLC caliber 437. The steel case measures 23.2 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 38.4 millimeters from lug to lug. A watch manufacturer known as Lemania, which also produces high-grade complicated movements, share its chronograph movements with many watch companies, including Omega and this 1950s Ebel Chronograph watch, under model reference 152-1. While it is a two-register chronograph watch powered by a Lemania 27 CHRO movement, which is the same as an Omega caliber 320, the case is actually the same as a three-register Omega model reference 2451, like the example in this video. With over 100 years of history, Ebel watches are still a luxury brand. Similar to JLC, modern-day Ebel focuses more on artistry and stylish aesthetics. I have always enjoyed vintage chronograph watches with a simple dial design, which is why I purchased this timepiece. The steel case measures 35.3 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 42 millimeters from lug to lug. Here's a 1970s Roma Stingray chronograph watch. The brand was founded in 1888 and is still in business. I purchased this timepiece for its extraordinary look and highly sought-after chronograph movement. The factory's original racer dial and hands make this watch pop and grasp everyone's attention. Because the case is very well sealed, it requires much more work to get to the movement. Do not take chances, only let a professional watchmaker work on this type of watch. This watch carries the famous Vorzu 72 manual wind chronograph movement, which is highly collectible. Rolex and many other prominent brand name watch companies also use this movement. This watch requires a unique crystal and crown, so always ensure that they are in good shape if you are hunting for a Roma Stingray. The case measures 37 millimeters in diameter, excluding the crown, by 43 millimeters from lug to lug. The NSA bracelet is original. If you enjoy content like this, the description box below will have links to the previous 6 episodes. And if you have been watching my videos, you already know I appreciate collecting unique models of the Rolex brand. Even though I enjoy collecting Rolexes and have a modest collection, I really discuss them because they are the world's most recognized and coveted watch brand. The 6th piece I present is a 1942 Rolex Standard produced for the Canadian market. I like this piece for its fancy rectangular case and exquisite classic dial design. Because the case is uniquely produced for the Canadian market, there's no model number, but a simple Rolex stamp inside the back. The case size is quite considerable for a rectangular watch of this era, measuring 20 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 42.6 millimeters from lug to lug. The manual wind movement is a 16 by 28 standard Rolex caliber. Watch number 7 is a Grand Seiko made in June 1972 according to its serial number. It is under the 56 GS series, also known as the last vintage Grand Seiko series, and consists of 3 automatic calibers: 5641 with no date, 5645 with just date, and 5646 with day and date. This series has around 9 case designs and nearly 3 dozen reference model numbers. However, the 1 case design I am presenting in this video is the date only, 5645-5010 reference, which came in stainless steel and had 4 different versions to select from. This is a unique reference with a faceted square case that is nothing like the rest of the vintage Grand Seiko collection. The case dimension measures 35.2 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 41 millimeters from lug to lug. The automatic movement is a Seiko caliber 5645, and it was not easy to get inside this watch, but it was fun to work on once you figure out how to take everything apart. The 56 GS series was used from 1970 to 1975. The thickness of the 56 GS series was only 4.5 millimeters, allowing the watch to be slimmer and sit more easily on the wrist. Watch number 8 is a vintage Zenith from 1918. I'll never sell this timepiece as it memorialized my grandfather, where he was born in the same year. Many attractive Zenith watches exist, but I prefer those that date before the 1970s. This brand makes some of the best quality movements, and I highly recommend it to anyone new to the watch hobby and looking for a good quality watch. The silver cushion case is nicely patina, and it is best to leave it this way. The most surprising thing about this timepiece is that the dial is pristine and the watch keeps insanely accurate time for a watch over 100 years old. I had my father handmade this slide on leather strap. It's a small timepiece measuring 28.3 millimeters across, excluding the crown, by 34.6 millimeters from lug to lug. As always, I hope you have learned something new. Comment below your favorite piece in this video and share a watch brand you own or like. It may get featured in a future episode. If you enjoy learning more about vintage watches and content like this, consider subscribing to this channel. You can always support my work on Patreon. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the following video.